Hi guys, there are a number of reasons why somebody was able to escape prison, be it due to poor protocols and safety being in place, bad management and chronically low staffing levels. But all of those can be and should be laid at the door of the Tories and their austerity over the last 13 odd years. The Justice Secretary Alex Chalk admitted as much when he appeared on the Kuenssberg show to defend the government over the embarrassing jailbreak. The minister tried to say that health and education were protected from austerity, so jails had to suffer. One big problem with that. Have a listen.
Hang on. The Ministry of Justice budget in 2019 was around a quarter lower than it was in 2010. Money has been taken out of this service year after year. Now, it has been topped up in the last few years, but do you accept that one of the reasons why there are so many problems in our prisons is because for many years money was being taken out and whittled away?
Well, it's certainly the case in 2010. In 2010, the situation was we inherited an appalling situation financially, and everyone knows that. We were spending about £750 billion a year, but we were only raising in tax revenue about £600 billion a year. So that's why, health and education were protected quite appropriately. But
What? What are you talking about? Health and education were protected? No, they were not protected from austerity. That's why we're seeing schools' roofs collapsing. That's why we've seen the NHS on its knees. Because of Tory cuts. You can't say, well, we funneled all the money from prisons into health and education to protect health and education. Well, health and education were not protected during austerity. So your argument, well, this is an excuse for why the prison system is in such a disaster, doesn't make any sense.
It's quite, there were challenges in the Justice Department, but as you rightly point out, in recent years there's been huge investment, and this £4 billion investment is the biggest investment in the prison service since the Victorian era.
And you obviously want to...
Okay, but you can't fix the problem at the last minute. If there are chronic problems in the prison system, you can't just throw money at it, in 2019 and expect it to be resolved by 2023. These problems have existed for years. Like, you've cut money to the public. You even admitted it here. You said, well, we had to cut it because we inherited an economic disaster, and we funneled all this money, as much money as possible, into health and education, which you didn't. But the excuse here is, well, the prisons had to suffer. But don't worry, we've fixed the problem because we've now topped it up. But you can't fix chronic problems with a quick fix. Staffing problems as a direct result of austerity. And it's not just the staffing problems. You have people sharing cells that shouldn't be sharing cells. The prisons are designed in many cases to hold a single prisoner, but you have prisoners sharing cells. You have people in prison who are waiting for a court case who have not been convicted of something. They have to be housed as well. So you have cuts to the public service as a direct result of austerity. This means that there aren't enough staff. This means that people have to bunk up in prison cells. You have overcrowding. You don't build new prisons. You don't build sufficient new facilities. And of course, you have a criminal justice system which is on its knees as well from other cuts in public services, because the courts aren't able to process people quickly enough. They're not able to hold enough trials, so that people are backing up in the prison system. This is why you have so much overcrowding. Now, you can't fix this at the last minute by just throwing a few billion at it. This requires reform, and it requires real investment. But I always find it funny how they'll say, we invested in health and education, and that's why the prison system is in such a disaster. That's not an excuse, especially as you didn't protect health and education from austerity. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.